go.
Hello, welcome to another Primo Cultural Cast. We are in week 15 of the Serie A, and we're going to do a little review. I'm Michael here with Anthony again. Hello, all.
Yo, hello. Big week, baby. Juicy
Yes,
week.
it seems like most weeks have been pretty good. It's been a nice season so far. I mean,
Yeah,
depending
it's
on who
been
you
fun to
support, it may
watch.
not be, but it's been really, really busy. Nobody knew who's going to actually win the Scudetto. Really, really tight. So, where do you want to start?
Let's start. Let's go just game by game in order. Let's go with bump Inter Parma.
Sounds good.
Did
All
you
right.
see the beautiful Mkhitaryan pass to
No,
Barella?
I
Oh
got to
my
watch
God,
this.
it's beautiful. It's a beautiful pass. Yeah, Inter's going to be a problem. Slow start, but they're definitely the best team in the league. It I'm hoping that they just stumble up a little bit so one of these smaller teams can take it this year. But man, they look good, dude. Inzaghi's got them firing.
I
Yeah,
think we
this
were saying like they're the one team who could run away with it, right? But I just don't
yeah
think that they will this season. I think that there's too many feisty small teams, and because I really think they want Champions League, as I've kind of said a
yeah
lot with the what should I call it when from being in Champions League and they're already winning the 20 Scudetto. I know they care about it, of course, but I think they're going to be a little more lax than they usually are.
yeah. I mean, they got. Let's see. They've
Maybe
gotten
past New
through
York.
a rough patch at the beginning of the season, but I mean, I don't know, man. If they have enough squad depth, I think, to even if they're a little distracted, they can get through the games. And I think everyone's going to start beating everybody up.
Dude, oh
But
my gosh, this is amazing. I'm
it's
watching right now.
amazing,
So
beautiful.
Mkhitaryan
Just
makes both passes. He makes the
yeah,
first one to DeMarco on their first goal, and the second one is insane.
that it,
It goes
he's.
from DeMarco to Thuram, who chests it to him, and then he one time volleys it straight to Barella's chest.
This is
That's
why
wild, man.
Beppe. This is why Beppe Marotta is so good.
Yeah, I mean, who thinks to go pick up Mkhitaryan and he's gonna be
Dude,
great?
he's
And
he
nobody would have thought that.
he's awesome, man. He's so good at his job. Best in the league by a long shot. And then Thuram on a free. You know the
Yeah,
Barella's playing great.
yeah, he's back
Shalanoglu,
now. It took him
yeah,
a while to get cracking, but he's back now.
yeah, yeah. His only weakness on that roster is Dumfries. I mean, it's they're dude,
Yeah,
they're
I mean the defense is good, but I don't think they're amazing. Like Bastoni is solid. He's good where he's at. De Vrij is hit or miss. Bissek, I don't think he's amazing. I actually think that the defense is the weakness for Inter. And by weak, it's not a weak team. It's not a weak defense, but it's just not that great comparatively.
no, it is
If
the
you look at their
weakness though.
mid, if
They've
you look at
been
their midfield, their
exposed.
attack is great.
They've been
Yeah,
exposed, and they're much better when Acerbi's in. But Acerbi, as long as the striker's a big, strong guy, Acerbi can
yeah,
handle him.
yeah. He's not gonna do well against those,
Yeah,
those like small jukey guys and agile guys, but the
anybody with
big battles,
pace.
he loves them. Yeah,
Yeah,
he loves like the feisty battles. I think
yeah,
he lives for those.
yeah. He dominates the power battles for sure. So as long as they're going against someone that's like a power striker, he should be in there. But yeah, no, the defense is definitely susceptible. No, but it's 2024. There's no good defenses anymore. There really isn't. I
No.
mean, if they are, it's the entire team committing to it. You know.
Yeah, it's just team
Uh,
defense and then a
yeah,
really, really solid midfield and then a defender will
yeah,
make a couple like miraculous plays, but my whole thing is why do you need to be in that position to make the miraculous play anyways? I'd rather you just be in position, but that is the way of
yeah.
the modern defender. It is just kind of making sure you make a great slide tackle. But I'm looking forward to hoping that a little bit of that old school defense comes back where you just right place, right time, controlled, composed, put yourself in good positions, but
Yeah, it could
that is
come
not the
full
modern
circle.
way.
I doubt it. I mean, there's just too much.
It
Of
doesn't seem to come back, does
no,
it? Like
no. It's too much
some
focus
things
on
are
selfies and
cyclical.
social media. I mean, you can't post, great positional defense on social media, but you can
No, it
definitely
is
post
unique.
goals and you can celebrate scoring a goal in the first half of a game where you should be definitely beating a team by freaking out and acting like you never scored a goal before. And it's every single goal
Yeah,
that's scored
that's
is
cross sport. That is cross
yeah,
sport
it
though.
is, yeah,
It's like
yeah.
everybody celebrates the small things
Look
because
at me.
that's what makes highlights. That's
Yeah,
what gives you in a nice Instagram reels and views. And so I just get it's the like the degradation of the modern day athlete, in my opinion.
yeah,
But
no doubt.
that's a whole different topic.
Yeah, no, no.
Isn't it weird though how like things are cyclical, like music, fashion, style, right? But not sports. They
No, yeah,
never
it
seem
just
to go
dies.
backwards,
It
right?
doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't
Yeah,
come
yeah.
back.
The
Yeah.
old ways are done, and every 10 years or so, it does seem to keep changing.
Oh, for sure.
Um,
Yeah, let's.
where
All
do you
right,
want to go
let.
next?
No, no, we're bumping on your into your squad here. That Atalanta Milan game.
Okay, Atalanta
Yeah,
Milan.
you take the lead
Um,
here, buddy.
I saw two games this weekend fully, and then but I did see the rest of the highlights. There was probably two highlights I missed. Like I missed Venezia Como, I missed Verona and Empoli highlights. I saw every other highlight besides those, but I did catch the full games of Milan Atalanta, and I caught Lazio Napoli. Those were the biggest games for me. Um,
Well, I'll
yeah,
summarize the Verona Empoli game and the Venezia Como. The Venezia Como game, pouring rain, toilet bowl. It was only fun because of the rain. That's my summary of
Nicolussi,
that game.
Caviglia, and Oristano. I think
I like,
Oristano's a guy that you like, right?
yeah, yeah. Oristano got the Olimpico. Yeah, he's good, man. He's good. He's a good player. I like him. Was
Hey, did you
peep?
know that
Mm.
Andrea Belotti scored a goal finally? He has two
Yes, he
goals
did.
in
He did.
the
He
He
did.
fell from a lofty, lofty perch, man. I mean,
Yes.
like he had 26 goals back in 2016
Yeah.
17 season.
Yep.
26.
Just goes to show what confidence does to you.
Man. Yeah,
Yep.
exactly, right?
Yeah, and then Esposito, what he had two.
But for
Sebastiano.
Verona
Yeah.
and Empoli,
Yep.
Kakache
Yep.
Colombo got a goal. Good. I'm glad.
Hmm.
I like to see Colombo do well.
Yeah,
That's
dude.
nice.
Yeah. I like
Empoli's got a good little team,
Esposito.
man. Empoli's got a
Yeah.
good little team.
Yeah, they do. They do. I like
Yeah.
their squad.
Uh, Petzela's solid. Vidi's solid. Male's been pretty good. Esposito, Allegri,
I
Kakache. They
like
got a couple of decent
Yeah, I like
people there.
VD. I think VD's pretty decent.
Yeah,
We'll
a
we'll
decent
keep
team.
our eye on Mr. VD over there. But all right, let's get into Milan. There was enough of the toilet bowl. Um,
Okay, Milan Atalanta,
yeah,
massive
yeah.
game. Had a lot of implications of is Milan going to be able to kind of climb this Serie A table and kind of shut down this form from Atalanta. It's honestly it's a massive. It was a massive game. A lot of implications. Let's see if Milan would have won that game. They would have been at 25 points with the game in hand, so possibly up to 28. If they win it, they're right back in the mix of things. Now they lost it. Of course, Atalanta is basically going to be right up there fighting for first place now. So pretty wild, and they
They
actually
are
will
in first
be
place.
solo first. I guess if Fiorentina and Inter both win, they'll be tied for first across the
Yeah,
board. But think of how huge that was, right? Whereas they would be at 31, tied for fourth. Instead,
hmm
they're lone first, and Milan would have is now kind of out of contention. It is weird that it's still not that many points. If they have a game in hand, they're still within 9 points, so
yeah.
it's not that crazy. But that was a pretty damning loss to Milan.
Oh yeah.
So I saw the entire game. I actually thought that Atalanta wasn't amazing. I thought that it was a very winnable game
hmm
for Milan. But it just goes to show the difference in form and confidence of where the two teams are at because that was a game that anybody could have taken. And at the end, of course, we saw what we saw. CDK, of course, poetic
Yeah,
justice
baby. I love it.
for Maldini just comes in and bites Milan right in the ass. Jumps over Teo. Definitely no foul. Anybody who cries foul there is just lying.
Oh
It's not a
yeah.
foul.
Yeah.
Teo dove. He jumped late. I mean, where do you want CDK to put his hands?
I,
It's impossible,
I'll tell you where
right?
he can put his
So,
hands.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
someplace special.
Yeah. Yeah.
Either way, great goal. Mayan is not stopping it. Um, I forget. I think it was just his tail with the coverage, but you can't forget Emerson Royale is the guy who created the foul. So boom, one goal already on him. I mean, it's not fully his fault, but yes, foul was because of Royale. The comeback goal was great. It's a Hernandez, Leao, Morata, the guys you would expect, right? I mean, you look at this team and where things are going to come from. That right side of Musa and Emerson, do you really think anything's going to come from that side?
No.
Absolutely not. And the whole throughout the whole game was from the left side plus Morata and then Pulisic. Um, really good goal. And then Milan looked good for a bit. Second half is when it all changed. Second half, Milan did not look good. And then it all kind of, in my opinion, was very symbolically crumbling when Pulisic got injured. He's been their best player all season. And he's been kind of although he doesn't have the armband, he's kind of been like a captain figure for them. I don't think Teo's a good captain. He's a bit whiny. Pulisic is much more of a captain figure that you want. I would have given either him or Gabi the captaincy. Um, but yeah, the second half came. Milan did not look good. They're being pressured. A lot of space in midfield, and I thought that Atalanta outplayed him in the second half. Is it once again crazy? And the last goal again, Emerson Royale did not mark his man, who was Lookman, who was behind him, and of course
Yeah. How do you
the
not keep
classic
your
save.
have eyes on Lookman, dude?
I don't know. I mean, he's the only
I-
guy that you're supposed to mark there. There's nobody else behind you besides him, but you're just spacing out. Like the ball's in the box.
He's
You
the
have one
biggest
person to
threat.
mark. Mark your man.
He's the biggest threat of the team. Like, get your where the hell's Lookman? And no one's calling for him.
It's just ridiculous. I don't
Yeah,
know.
such a bad player,
Milan.
Emerson, man. Emerson
Yeah,
Royal.
it's what's amazing is Milan paid a transfer fee for him. I think it was somewhere around 15 mil, and he makes millions a year, and he's
Mhm.
costing you points. So I like saying that he's actually costing you money.
Yeah.
That's the best part about it. So you paid this guy to lose you money, to lose you points. So hope it was worth it, guys.
Oh yeah. I mean,
It's
they're
actually it's
so
remarkable.
delusional. I don't think they even see it that way. Like, oh, we just got to give him time. He just needs
Yeah.
time. Yeah. Yeah.
That guy has no skills. He's not
Yeah.
like somebody who like shows flashes of brilliance or Tonali wasn't good year one, but you could see it. You could see he had grinta, he had the pace, he had the ball control here and there. He just wasn't stringing it all together. There's nothing to string together for Emerson Royale,
Yeah, he's just a dumb player. Is that you're
and
never
now
going to
he's gonna be
improve
stuck
that?
on your book.
Yeah.
He's gonna be stuck on your books, and you're not gonna offload him because nobody's gonna want to take on his salary. He's gonna sit there. He's gonna rot just like Divock Origi did, just like Ballatore. I'm just gonna sit there and rot, and he's gonna just waste money. Crazy signing. I mean,
Yeah.
I would rather promote a Primavera player. Like we have Jimenez, very good right back, fast. Why not just play him? He can't be worse.
Yeah.
But
What's is that the guy that's loaned in from Real?
yeah, but I think Milan bought him. So
Oh.
I mean, the Real has like some like weird buyback clause on him, but
Yeah.
it's quite favorable now to Milan because they renegotiated the deal.
Oh, okay.
So it's a lot better now.
Yeah.
On the goal, I think what Reinders or something was. I think he was marking somebody. I'm not sure exactly what happened. Let me look here.
Yeah. Yeah. Look it up. I
Because
mean,
it was a bounce off header, like, and then it
Hey
headed on
guys,
to
Invader Kit.
Lookman. Yeah, I'm watching it right now. Yeah, no, that's not that bad. I mean, you can't really expect Reinders to mark. I think that's like Jim City or something like that. Who headers it on? Reinders is on. Taggy, who's not doing anything. Teo's marking nobody. Uh, well, I would love for people to just go back and watch this. It's like nobody's marking anybody. The only body who's got somebody is Fofana. Fofana's like grabbing somebody's arm, which is great. Honestly, I'm totally cool with that. That's old school, like like the dark arts. I'm actually happy with that. Totally cool with that.
yeah. The
Loftus
one
Cheek is for once marking somebody, which is very rare.
left ass cheek
And Royale is just he's just
doesn't
spacing
even
out.
know what to
Oh
do, man.
my
Yeah.
goodness. This is I want people to go back and watch this. He's just on his own. There's one guy by him.
I mean, at what
It,
point do you just
yeah.
bench this guy? Like,
It bounces right by Thiago, who should have been on that too. But Royale's duty is to mark the guy behind him. Yeah, I mean he should have been benched.
yeah, bench the guy.
Like Calabria is not great, but he's definitely better than Emerson Royale.
He would have
It's
covered
just
that, man. Come on, dude.
it's just weird.
Yeah, it's.
I can't believe that they think this guy is worth his salt. But
I mean, I
I
don't know if
digress.
it's. There's something weird going on with the Milan management. I think there's a lot of pride
Yeah.
there, and they just won't admit when they make a mistake.
I mean, and
Perhaps. I mean, they're
what's
just
the
selling off your team, man. This is
I just don't get why Milan doesn't go back to the three-man back line. They look very good with it,
yes,
and it just frees them up a lot. It covers a lot of their errors and their weaknesses. It gets Emerson Royale away from the back line. If you want to play the guy, now he's a wing back. It just
yes.
solves a lot of problems. You now have a spot for Musa, who's a really good wing back, but he's not a good winger because he was a good workhorse. He's a good grinder, but he's not like some skillful winger, and he's not a right back either. He's a CM, which you need to have space. He can't play. He could be a DM, maybe you train him, but he's a CM or he's a wingback. He's none of the positions are playing him at. And I'm just wondering why they didn't start Chukwueze. I don't like Chukwueze as a signing, but he's been pretty good recently, and he plays the right wing, which is exactly what we ran a 4-2-3-1. What the heck is the point of running Musa there? It just makes no sense to me.
I mean, did you think Musa was going to cover better for Royale? I mean, if that's the case, why even
Probably.
have
I mean
Royale in there? I mean,
that's probably why he was there. But it's like, what is the point?
No, I like
It's
the
like
three man back line for sure. It even puts Tejas is a bad defender. I mean, but he's an amazing wing
amazing
back.
wing back.
Yeah,
He'd probably
yeah.
be
Like,
the best wing back in the entire world if you just play three-man back line.
I mean,
Just run it. So dumb.
it just prevents him from being in a position where he's going to fail and puts him in the best position to succeed. And it does it with a lot of your players. I don't understand what
Yeah.
your entire defense across the board. It helps.
You just could run a 3-4-3. You can keep layout
Yeah,
out wide. You can keep Pulisic on the right side. I mean, it just makes so much
yeah.
sense. It strengthens your defense, strengthens your wing backs, and it gives more support to your midfield because you got three defenders behind them. I don't know. If
Yeah, no,
Milan is
I
going
agree
to go
with you.
forward with this team, they must change to a three-man back line ASAP. And honestly, winter signings are going to be pretty telling because if Pulisic is down for a long time, Milan's not going to come back strong. That guy's been excellent for this team.
Oh yeah, yeah. He's been. Would he be your MVP so far, or is it Reinders?
Pulisic by far.
Yeah,
Reinders would be number two, but I actually don't think it's close. I think without Pulisic, like the games that were like close games were almost always won by him or he created the play. So yeah, he's definitely
yeah.
season MVP by far.
I'd agree with you. Hey, you got to
Yeah.
fondle your microphone a little bit. It gives me a little ping every once in a while. It's doing some
Ping,
weird.
what do you mean?
Yeah, it's going like bing. I don't know if they can hear it on the thing, but yeah, it's it seems like it's
Hmm.
yeah, fuzzing out sometimes. But
Let me know if it happens again. I'll change the sensitivity on a little bit. But that was gonna be my big soapbox. Let's do Genoa Torino, and then we'll get into yours with Juve. So Genoa
yeah, I
Torino,
got
I
a
did not
soapbox.
see. Did you see any of this game? It looks like it was not
Honestly,
eventful.
I had it on and I just spaced out during it. It just yeah,
Yeah, it seems pretty
it
boring.
was
Two teams I really
yeah,
don't care about
yeah.
this year, to be honest with you. I'm just paying attention to Ricci and I think
Same.
Frederick player from Genoa. That's all I'm really
Yeah,
watching.
friend. Yeah, yeah. I'm friend Drip and try to keep my eyes on Moretti as well.
I'm ready.
So
Yeah, he's a Juve
yeah,
guy. Yep.
yeah. So you know, eh,
Next.
whole bunch of nothing really. All right, what was
All
another
right.
game here? No,
It's time to get into it.
no, not yet, not yet. There's another. No, I want to talk about Roma first. Let's
Okay. All right.
celebrate Claudio
All right. We'll
Ranieri.
go Roma and then we'll go Juve.
Yeah, yeah. Let's celebrate Claudio Ranieri
I actually did
getting
see
one of
this
the
game. I
win
saw
column.
by half this
Yeah,
game. This is good.
I I like that Pisili had a very good game.
So did
That's what I like.
Salamakers.
Yes.
Salamakers is finally back. He's a good workhorse. By the way, he'd be a nice, valuable piece for Milan. If
No, you don't
you
want
wouldn't have
him.
had to play
No,
Musa on the right, yeah.
you don't
He's not
want
amazing,
someone.
but he works
Dude,
hard.
he works hard. Yes,
He
he
works
works
hard,
hard.
man.
Yes, and El Sharawi, some ex Milan guys. El
Ex
Sharawi
Milan
was
guy.
probably their best player.
Why do you sell him for
Yeah,
nothing when he could
yeah,
be? He's always versatile, always
just
good. I don't know.
just awesome.
Yeah.
You know, Dybala brings the class.
Yes, he does.
Salamayers and Salamakers and El Sharawi, work
They bring the
rate,
work rate with him.
pace.
Yeah.
Yeah, just and Kone's been really good too. I
Yeah.
mean, he has been.
Conte's good.
Yeah, dude,
I like him.
he's the better version of Turam. You know, we got Turam. I like Turam. Kone's been he's a much better player, man. It's dude, they have a good roster. If Ranieri can keep building on this, and they had a real tough schedule. They were in a deep dark place. Ranieri comes in, first order of business. Let's lock things down, get organized. Boom.
Yeah, he
They
had
got
some tough games to start though.
tough games too. But he got them organized. They got through them, and this is exactly what you do to Lecce. You don't draw
Yep.
them 1-1 like Juventus. You pound them into the ground four
No,
to one. You pound them into the
this is
ground four
how
to
you
one.
build team confidence too. Like
Yes.
this, and I always say if you're gonna, I know they're not gonna win the league, but if you're gonna win the league or do well in the league, you need to beat the small teams and make quick work of them. And then whatever you can get from the big teams, who really cares? You're probably pretty close to the top anyways at that point.
Oh yeah. It was. I'm very proud of Ranieri. I'm glad, happy for him.
Yep.
Good
By the way,
job.
He's starting Hummels just like the
Yes.
other like De Rossi did not do, and like
Yes.
who was it? Did not do either. Who's the guy who came in?
Urich.
Yours, you
Yeah.
don't have to. I mean, the
Yeah.
guy's good. Just give him some playing time. Let
Yeah,
him
man.
adapt to the league. Give him like a half season, and he's gonna be your best defender.
I do. Hummels
Give
is
him time.
incredibly unlucky after probably being incredibly pissed off, sitting out half a season. You know, he comes in and just a bunch of bad luck. And
Yeah.
dude, he's a
I
class
mean,
player.
he's in between two athletic but dumb players. Like
Yes.
Mancini and Ndika are like the same player. Like
Yeah.
they're good, they're powerful, they're a bit dumb, they make a lot of mistakes, but they got a lot of grit and they tackle hard. You need
Yes.
somebody with a brain in between them, and that's Hummels.
It's was such a good signing for them, and yeah, I'm glad it's. I think they're going to be on a nice little run of form here. They're going to be a tough team. It's
I
going to
think their
throw
wingbacks
in
suck though.
their what?
I think their wingbacks suck.
Yeah, they do. They do suck.
Well,
You're not
no,
wrong about
no,
that.
I take that back. I think
Oh,
Angelino is a good player,
Angelino's
but
very good. No, no, no.
Celik
Yeah,
Celik is not.
yeah, no. Chelik's stuck, and they don't have anybody really behind him because what's Zalewski who
Exactly.
plays there sometimes. He's very defensively inept.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
okay. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. But no, no. Angelino's been a very good player
Angelino's
for
been
them.
good. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I take it
It's
back.
another good signing from them. But
Mm-hmm.
look, can we wait for the Juve thing? Because I might, pop a hemorrhoid or something. Let's do Fiorentina,
Well,
Kelly.
no, no,
Yeah, no.
because you have to come out of it. You want to end with
Yeah.
that, right? Yeah, you
No,
don't
no,
want to
no.
end with
Yeah.
that.
Well, we got
Yeah,
the Napoli Lazio. That was my game of the
yeah.
week
We
there.
we we go into this next. Okay,
Yeah.
we'll
All
go
right.
Fiorentina. Then Juve, okay, we'll do
Okay.
one more.
All right. Yeah. So Fiorentina once again get another win. I think this is eight in a row now.
Seven or
Eight
eight.
eight wins in a row, baby. You
Yeah,
know, Camuzzo and Ranieri are now tied with Juventus and Napoli for the best defense in the league. You don't have to spend $200 million to have a great defense. Okay? And they're not
Cataldi and Ali
parking the
locking
bus.
it down week after week now.
So glad Cataldi got a goal. He's an
Yeah.
excellent player.
The guy who wasn't good enough for Milan, Yasin Adli,
Yep.
would
Yeah.
really help that midfield.
I mean, Fiorentina is a great example of a team that, to all sporting directors everywhere, that having the right players is much more important than having expensive players. And good on Palladino for starting these guys, finding the right positions for them, being flexible enough to entirely change his formation. He's winning with he's winning by scoring a lot of goals. He's winning ugly. They're just winning games. And when we talk about which team is going to drop off, this was one of our teams we thought was going to drop off. I don't know, man. Like they're
No,
not.
I don't know. I For me it was Lazio. For me, I think Lazio is going to eventually show some signs of weakness. Fiorentina, I think will stumble here and there, but I think they'll be pretty steady. I don't think they're going to win the league, but I think that they have a real shot at top four.
I mean, they didn't even start good or Keane or
No,
Goodmanson. Goodmanson's coming back from his injury. Kopani didn't start.
yeah, I mean, you
So
look at this lineup today, and like this looks like a 10th place team lineup. Like it really
yeah.
does, but they just have them playing so well. Like De Gea, Dodo, Kumutsa, Ranieri, Gosens,
Hmm.
Cataldi, Ali, Ikone, Beltran, Sotil, Kwame.
Hmm.
There's no like studs in there, but the team's playing so damn well together that everybody looks good.
Yeah, and you know what?
That's just great coaching.
100%. Palladino is a super underrated coach. We should be talking about him more.
He did well with
Uh,
Monza. He moves
yep,
across to Fiorentina. He's taking steps up in his career. This is great. I hope he stays there for a
yep.
couple years and then goes to a big team.
And as we say on Primo Culture, he starts the Italians. He plays the Italians. He has faith in the young Italians. It's a good thing. He's doing great stuff. I hope they don't fall off. That's my hope for them.
Yeah, they might, but I mean, they have decent depth. It's not amazing, but they have decent depth. So I don't think they're going to fall off too hard. I would love it if they were the surprise team to make top four.
Yes, it is.
That'd be very cool.
It is a huge bummer about Bove because he's not going to be playing in Serie A anymore. He has to get a defibrillator, and so those
Yeah,
are
I mean,
banned in Serie A.
I don't know if I necessarily blame them, but I mean, if you could play in other leagues, like you should be allowed to do what you want to do and make that choice. Yeah, it is dangerous. I mean, like yeah, if his heart spikes to a certain rate,
Yeah.
he's gonna struggle, which is wild. So yeah, he's got to have a implantable defibrillator, which is pretty crazy. So 'cause remember we were talking like why did it happen? Because we got to find out why. It
Hmm.
was actually his heart, which is
Yeah.
crazy. I mean, he
It's
didn't
not so
just have
crazy. It's been happening a
a
lot in the
rote
past few
seizure.
years. Yeah. It's been
So,
happening more than I mean. I've never seen it happen in my entire. I'm an old man. It's crazy. It's
oh man.
it's been a minute since we've seen it. It was happening a lot more a few years ago, but holy crap. Yeah, what a shame. And I hope he goes to England or Spain and has a great career. It's a bummer he
Yeah,
can't
same
play in
here.
Serie A. But he was
He was
having
really
an
finding his
awesome
way,
season.
man.
Yeah, man, he was
He
having
was
an
really
awesome
finding his
season.
way.
I
He was
like
playing in
players
a
like
couple
him
different
too.
spots too.
Yeah, he's a smart enough guy to play in different positions. He's plays hard, very aggressive, combative, a good ball winner, and he makes good decisions with the ball.
Works hard the whole game.
Yeah, man. It's what a bummer. I was, I wanted to recommend a call up for the national team. Whisper in Spalletti's ear before all this stuff happened. I'm like, this guy needs to be getting a call up, man. He's been calling up way worse guys than him. This guy should be getting a call up, and now it looks like it'll never happen because he can't play for the national team.
Yeah, did you see the goal?
Yeah.
It was just like just a well worked goal. I mean, the whole time they were working it
Hmm.
up, it was basically just Cataldi and Adli were working the ball the whole time, and then finally, I think it's like a deflected shot from Adli comes back to Beltran, and just passes it straight back to Cataldi and just buries it. That's it. That's all they needed.
Yeah. Beautiful,
Simple, good follow up,
calm,
good
classy
positioning.
finish. Boom.
Yeah,
Punch it in.
it's really
Right
good
place,
stuff.
right time. You got to be in the right position. He was, and he buried it.
Yeah,
Like
buried it.
a true veteran should. So that's why I pick up guys like Cataldi, man. He's there when you need him. It's
Experience
perfect.
too. I mean, like this is why they're well built, right? Because you got a guy who's experienced in Cataldi that you bring in. You've got a guy who's experienced in De Gea who you can bring in. Like
Hmm.
they brought guys who have actual game experience. One's got
Yeah.
Serie A experience. One has high level experience in De
Gosens.
Gea. Yeah, and Gosens who's been on Atalanta
Hmm.
for a bit. I mean, like they brought some good players in, and then not everybody's just some new young guy. I mean, you need some experience there to actually make a good team.
Yeah. And one of their better center backs, Martinez Cuarta. He's not playing. He's not starting over Ranieri and Camuzzo. And
I
I
don't
don't
think
blame him.
you should if they're doing this well. There's no reason to rock the boat. It's just a nice benefit that they have that guy
Yeah.
in reserve, because he's a really good player too.
Dude, both those
So it's
guys, but
good.
especially Camuzzo's looking really good, man. He's the ginger wonder boy. He's doing a great job. Really, really great job. And dude, Ranieri's
He's
he's a
solid.
good leader of the back line. Yeah, he leads the back line damn well. So yeah, good for him.
All
All right,
right,
let's
it's
do it.
time.
Yeah, let's do it, man. This is
You just go. I'll just chime in here and there. I saw the highlights, but I didn't see the full game. So give me a little rundown. What do you
okay.
think of the lineups? How the starting lineups? How the formation? What do you think?
Well, I mean, so no Orsolini. So you got Ndoye out there on the right hand side in his spot. They start what's his name? Dominguez, the young guy. Um, Odgaard's out there. Castro, who I really like a lot, and I just when I saw Pobega get the nod to start, I just go, ah, shit, because that kind of is the kind of guy he just scored last week, right, or midweek. That's the kind of guy that's gonna get us, you know. Freaking Pobega. Sure enough, it happened. But I mean, dude, Juventus just came out totally flat. They've been playing like they've been playing all year, just turtling up. Uh, Italiano's got the heavy press on. We have no idea how to play out of it. Absolutely none. We get all these $200 million worth of players that are super skilled and they're what an amazing Coop Miners and Douglas Louise and all these awesome, amazing signings. Kalulu, he's a ball playing center back. We can't get the ball out of our half correctly to save our lives. We're doing this patty cake crap, passing the ball around, and they're just all over it every step of the way, picking it off. Turnovers, 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 and then they got the ball with good field position in our zone, passing around the box. It was pretty embarrassing, to say the least. The, saw the goal coming a mile away. I think I'm surprised there wasn't five of them. But
And they just got smoked on the first
yeah.
goal with Ndoye. By the way, Ndoye I thought had a really solid game. I didn't
Oh,
see
he
the
was
whole game, of
outstanding.
course, but
Yeah.
Ndoye had that guy can shoot, man. That guy can shoot from anywhere.
Oh, dude,
He's got a bomber.
he's
He's
you
Swiss,
know
I believe.
yes,
Good
yes.
player.
Him and Freiler are the team
The
Swiss
Swiss
out there.
contingent.
Yeah, yeah. No, so I mean, Locatelli, he just runs right past Locatelli, runs right past
Yeah, I saw
Kalulu.
that
Both
one.
of them sleeping. Locatelli and Kalulu both just snoozing, and
Yeah.
just nothing Prin can do on that one. Just absolutely ripped it.
No,
Um,
and the thing is,
bomber
there's
of a goal.
nobody else there. It's like, all right, Kalulu is marking number 21, but 21 steps up.
Mhm.
Kalulu steps up way too far to go like make some challenge. He should have just been sitting there, and by the time he makes his forward step, he's already too late. Locatelli just gets smoked. Yeah, you're right. Both of them just get burned.
Yeah, basically burned. I mean, it's this is why people are bitching like, he's not playing aggressive enough. He cannot. Our defense is so bad. He's been doing this since the first week. He's been covering our defense
Yeah.
up since the first week. And the reason why our team is better when Locatelli is out there, he had a bad game today. Locatelli was terrible today, but typically Locatelli is our best center back. He
Center
covers
mid, yeah.
up. No, he's our best center back. I meant that.
Oh,
He,
oh, you
yeah,
meant center.
yeah. I want to see a statistic on how many box clearances all our players have, and I bet you he's right up there with them because they just don't know how to clear the ball of the box. They don't know how to pick guys up. He's constantly behind him fixing things, and this is why we can't move the ball forward because he's so far deep covering their ass, and yeah, it's that's a sad thing when you have to play Locatelli, who really is one of the main reasons we can't possess the ball in the offensive zone. We need a player instead of a Locatelli. We needed a guy like Rovella, who when we get into the
You
Lazio
had.
game, yeah,
You had.
we'll talk about his presence, how his presence was so missed in that Lazio game. Like when that guy comes on, now you can control the ball in the offensive zone. You have that outlet. He's always open. We need a regista on the team. When we started the season, that's where Fagioli was playing. When Fagioli was playing well at the beginning of the year, Fagioli was playing as a regista. Him and Locatelli played a couple games together. It was okay. When it was just Fagioli and like McKennie or Fagioli and somebody else, it was really good because Fagioli is our only player that's an actual regista that knows how to move the ball around, that can pass the ball vertically. We had Fagioli playing with Locatelli again, playing with Koopmeiners again. Fagioli's like a chicken with his head cut off, lost, useless. He had a one opportunity and completely shanked it. And he's in the right spot, but totally shanked it. No clue what to do with the ball. He had a nice forward run, and I'm like, he has three options to pass to, does nothing with it. Puts a crappy shot into a defender, just
Dude, you've
boo.
seen goal number two. I'm sure you've seen it, but it's like multiple people are at fault here.
Oh, dude,
Probably,
I mean,
probably three people are at fault here.
that's the Pobega goal.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
probably three people at fault here.
What's your analysis
So
of that goal?
I've been just
Yeah,
like slow moing this about what you've been
yeah,
doing your thing
yeah,
here. So
yeah.
Locatelli has a crappy ball out to nobody. Like he's almost like a half
Sounds about
clearance,
right.
not really a clearance, right? Okay, he just boots it somewhere. It
Yeah.
goes right back to the Bologna player who just slams it forward to their striker. I think it's Castro maybe.
Hmm.
And also Locatelli was on Pobega, but then he lets him drift behind him. So now he doesn't cover his man as well. So it starts the crappiness and then he lets him go. But then where's Kalulu? Kalulu's pulled way out wide. He should be somewhat close to Gatti, but he's gone.
He's
So it's the same
always.
two people. It's Kalulu and Locatelli. Gatti also pushes up way too hard on Castro. He knows he can't reach him in time for the ball to get there, but he's still, because he's an aggressive defender,
Yes.
tries to make that challenge. If you're way too far away from it, just stop and see where the play is going to go and adjust. Because if you don't make that challenge, you're screwed. Well, he didn't make the challenge. He and Castro made a great play, totally faked him out. Locatelli is burned. Clueless is nowhere to be found. He's way late. He's not covering his man. So now Pobega, who's not fast, gets to the ball first and does a pretty nice chip. I mean, he just came through with a pretty classy finish.
Yeah, dude.
And that's Pobega, man. I
Dude,
mean, that's awesome.
I knew it, man. I just knew it when I saw the lineups. I'm like, oh man,
Mm-hmm.
it 100%. It's the same two main culprits and everyone was just creaming over Kalulu, especially after the Leipzig game. Dude, the guy cost us like two goals in that game. Same kind of shit, just out of position, but he made a sliding block, so everyone freaked out.
Yep.
Oh, sweet! Like, dude, that is
Yeah.
he was
That's
he
what I'm
was
saying. That's
out
the
of
modern way.
position when he did it. Yeah, it
That's the
wasn't a
modern way.
good
That's how people
play.
think that they're good.
Yeah, it's like he was
He's
just covering his
always
ass.
when he was on Milan, his first season he was quite good because he was incredibly humble. Because he was just a kid. He was a kid coming in. He didn't want to make mistakes. He seemed really mature for his age. I was like, wow, this kid might be special. Um, Year two, not humble at all. Made a bunch of mistakes, and then he pretty much became known for like you'd get one to two things per game to where he'd make a mistake, and that may or may not result in a big goal chance, but it was either way a huge mistake. And that's kind of what you see here. He's fine, and then all of a sudden he makes probably two huge mistakes a game. Whether or not they capitalize, I don't know, but it looks like this game they did on both of them.
Yep.
He's not great there. If you're gonna run that guy, in my opinion, he needs to be a 3-man type of center back, like a
Yeah.
right center back. Then he plays to his strengths all day long.
Yeah, it's still scary in a way because when you're playing against a real top opponent, I still don't like a guy like that back there. But I mean, my opinion, he was brought in as a right back and he's playing there. But then again, I think about it. I look at if that's the case, if he was brought in as a right back, I go, so we really started the season with only Bremer and Gatti as our center backs. So he was, he was probably brought in as a center back, and it just shows how bad of a
He's brought in as a
director.
CB who can also play right back.
Yeah, he's terrible. He did a terrible job. He's done nothing but a bad job since he's been here.
He's one of the most overrated
Yeah,
transfer gurus. Everybody loves this guy. I
he's
don't see
terrible.
it. I just don't
He's
see it.
he
They
signed
give
like,
him way too much credit off like Kvaratskhelia and Kim.
of
Way too
course,
much credit.
dude. He signed like 12 guys a year with Napoli. Dude, we signed what? 12 guys again this year, 10, and two of them are panning out. Conceição
Yeah.
and yeah, come on. Yeah. Wait, who's the second
Conceição, by the
guy?
way, is amazing.
He's amazing. Love him.
Seriously, he is.
He's our entire team right now. I mean,
Everything comes through. Every threat comes through him right
yeah, I mean he had a really good game as usual. Coop Miners played his best game of the year, and I would still give him a 5 rating. The announcers he made this pass to a Vlahovic. God, it was like 40th minute or something like that.
No,
And the
it was
announcer's
it was
like,
a, it was a nice pass, but
he's looking
that's not
right at
enough
him.
to validate a good game.
Yeah, that's his
That's
job.
not enough to
Like,
validate.
yeah, right. Come on. Hit his goal. Night, he's in the right spot. Fagioli had the same opportunity. Cataldi, similar opportunity. Those late runs into the box. That's not a magic trick. That's a very common thing. They do it at a high school level. It's he was in the right spot. Read the
Like
play
you said, it
right.
was his best game.
Put it away. It was his best game. Boom.
Hopefully he
Good
builds
job.
on it. I don't know.
Yes. Well,
That's all you can hope is that it gives him some
yeah.
confidence to play better. That's all you
You
can
know,
hope.
people are saying he's in the wrong spot. I tend to agree with that, but at the same point, it's like he wasn't brought in to play anywhere else but there. He was brought in to be that 10. He is not the 10. He is wearing the correct number. He's an 8. Let him be. I think we should be running a 4-3-3 just with the guys we have, but it is what
I
it is.
agree. I agree.
It's
He's not pure Cam. He needs to be a
no,
center mid who can make late runs. He can possess the ball. He's better like actually in midfield when he can have the
he
time,
is.
control it, work the ball, slow down the play. It would actually give you what Locatelli can't bring. It would give you that control and
Yes.
composure in midfield. He needs to be back there. You need to run a 3-man mid.
Well, you know why? What's his name? Moto's not doing it. And this is for because I once again that makes everything you said make sense. And he dropped back in this game and in possession looked great. It's when the other team is in possession, he is very poor with defensive positioning. He's not a bad tackler. He's not a good tackler. He's not a bad tackler, but he's always all his tackles are when he's like the second guy in or like chasing the guy down from behind. When he's squared up with somebody, he's going to get smoked. That's fine. Not all your center mids need to be incredible tacklers. You got to have
Yeah,
skilled
especially
guys
if they
too.
got good ball control and skills.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah, Mota I think is a bit too rigid with that. He's like, if you don't work
yeah,
nonstop, if you're not a tackler too, you're not playing. It's like okay,
yeah.
well then you signed the
Well,
wrong guys.
well,
Because that's not what you got in.
yeah. They signed the wrong guys for sure. Moto's not making the wrong decision by covering up his terrible defense. The couple times he didn't, when
Right.
he tried to go get goals, we leak
You get
goals
burned.
every time, and you can see it in this
Yeah.
game. If Locatelli doesn't have an amazing game, we get scored on. Against a lesser team, Locatelli can usually pick that guy up, or if
Yeah.
Locatelli's MVP, he picks that guy up. It's two goals happen very
And you're
similar.
definitely noticing the absence of Bremer. He was having quite a good season.
Yeah,
Definitely noticing his absence for sure.
yeah. I mean that's. I mean, once again, though, I mean you should be in the right spot there, but
You should be in the right spot, but I mean, it's
yeah,
really it is wild to seeing how dumb Clue actually is.
yeah,
This
he is
season and
super dumb.
past
Yeah,
season too. But it is quite
yeah,
evident how much better Bremer was.
yes, yeah. It's a big loss, but at the same point, like this is Juventus, like one loss shouldn't turn you into a terrible team.
Why do
So
they? I mean, if Giuntoli is so good, why did they start the season with only two pure center backs? Like, why do they loan out Rugani?
he's a
Like,
moron.
couldn't they have used him as
No,
even a backup?
I believe this is
It's
all
pretty wild.
petty. It's all petty bullshit because they're other people's guys. He doesn't want.
Yeah, kind of like what was
Yeah,
happening at Milan. They got rid of all
yeah,
of like
yep,
Maldini's guys just to spite him, and now they're all performing well.
exactly. Dude. I mean, Dean Heisen played an incredible game last week, and his highlights are getting posted everywhere. I'm like,
Hyson's good, man. Hyson, he's good. He's what 19. Like that kid,
calm,
he looks so
classy,
controlled for his age.
physical, calm, classy. Ball playing
Yeah,
center back, left footed, actually 2 footed, really. He's got a pretty damn good right foot.
yeah. I
We're
mean,
about
tell
to
me you couldn't
spend.
use Hyson as like a fourth center back this year?
Oh, we absolutely could have. So we're buying
Wild.
we're buying Antonio Silva, big tall gump from who's not even starting at Benfica. We're gonna get him on a loan with an obligation to buy again. It's gonna be a very expensive summer already. We haven't, we have three,
Obligation to
four
buy?
players.
No way.
Obligation to buy, yes.
Really?
A very expensive loan for this gigantic gump that he can smack long balls once in a while. He has a highlight. When I looked him up on YouTube, okay, I don't watch a lot of Benfica, but when I looked him up on YouTube, one of the first things that come up is it's called Antonio Silva makes many mistakes. But just look at the guy. He's uncoordinated.
Tall and gangly. What is
I
he?
know that's
What,
not a
what
requirement in
he's
in
he's
football, but
21.
yeah, yeah, he could be the greatest defender of all time. I don't see it, man. I mean, I
We'll see.
yeah,
We'll
it's
see.
my whole point is the whole point is you had Heisen, born and
Yeah,
raised in your system.
you had Rugani, who was at least a solid backup. Why would you? I mean, why would you
Rugani
still
has been
start the
playing well for
season?
2 years. Rugani's
Or even if you want to get rid of him, why would you get rid of him with no backup or no
be,
replacement? Like
because
Kalulu's not that guy.
Juntali is a moron. We we even have a winger problem. So it's just one thing after the next. We got constant like what happens when Nico comes back? We want to ideally Nico Gonzalez is a good player. We want to play him at the same time, right? We don't want to bench one of them for the other. They play the same spot. They're both cut inside shoot with my left. Okay, I'm not taking Constance out right now. We're going to put Nico. Are you going to put him on the other side? Put him on the left?
Are they saying this guy costs 40 mil because he's 21?
Yeah.
Is that Antonio Silva?
He's riding the
What? I
bench,
mean, yeah,
man.
like what if he ends up being great? Okay, that's a risk. If he doesn't, that's a huge
Yeah,
loss.
this is
That's a risky sign.
these are signings that Beppe Murato would never make, especially
No.
when you don't have an established team. Like a team like Inter could take a risk on a guy like that because they have tons of cover for him.
Yeah, because you got guys who aren't 15, like leading your team.
Hmm.
If you have a bunch of experience who's been there, done that, yeah, you can add a
Right.
guy like this. But and that's funny.
What?
I'm watching this video on him, and the very first first few comments say the Portuguese Harry Maguire.
Yeah,
And then the next guy calls
exactly.
him Antonio Maguire. And this guy says agility is lacking. Yeah, yeah, there
Yeah.
you go.
Yeah, see, so I'm not the only one who thinks
We'll
he's a,
see.
he's a
No,
gump.
you're not. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
They call
yeah.
him. Yeah, he goes the
He's totally
Portuguese Harry Maguire.
uncoordinated, giant gump, and you see it with these big guys. What's his name? Pobega, unathletic, but he's just got like a wooden leg. So yeah, he's gonna boot that
Yeah,
sucker.
but
And
he's
big
in
deal.
center mid, and he's not in a crucial position. Like he's not D mid. So if you
Yeah,
make, because that guy's gonna make mistakes. You don't. You put guys like that in non-crucial positions.
yeah,
You put a guy like that at center back, you make a mistake. The guy's
yeah.
throwing goal.
It's
That's a
it's
problem.
it's a disaster. I don't want
That's
to
a
get
problem.
too much into how shitty Juntali is. We do a whole episode on that soon, but
Sure.
I would like to say Vlahovic was. I was glad Vlahovic was back for as much shit as
Yeah.
he gets. His run on the first goal opened up the space for Coop Miners, and his work on his run and his
The work
pass.
and as fast as I can go.
Yeah,
Yep.
and Savona was awesome. Savona steals the ball and and this is the craziest thing. So I hope
One and
everyone's really
Magul were
listening.
great subs, huh?
Yeah, those are both next gen guys. So here's a crazy thing that Savona did. It's been a long time since you've probably seen something like this at Juventus, but it still exists. What he did was he won the ball back, and then he passed the ball to Vlahovic, but he passed it in front of him. This is apparently called a lead pass, and it allowed Vlahovic to do something called run onto the ball. Totally revolutionary for the Juventus team, and Vlahovic didn't fumble the ball because he could run onto it and was able to get into a dangerous position, make a cutback pass, and
Yeah,
Bangula,
because
what a
people give him a lot
finish.
of flack, right, about like because maybe his first touch when you go right to him is not that good.
Yeah,
Right?
it
Is
is.
that kind of
Yeah, yeah. He's a terrible point man. Like, he is absolutely a poacher. If he went to a team that provided service, he'd get a million goals. He is not the guy for our
Oh,
team.
for
He
sure.
he just isn't. I like him. I think he's a good player, but he is not wanted here. He's not the right fit. Moto doesn't want.
He's a fighter too. I would totally take him. He's a
Yeah,
fighter. I love his mentality. He always tries like nonstop. You can tell that guy wants to win.
yeah, he
There's players
does.
you
He
can
does.
look at and he actually gives a crap.
The problem is but he is not the kind of guy that when your team's playing poorly, he's gonna like lift you out of it. Like he needs to be on a team with other good players, and then he'll be outstanding again. He's just is surrounded by a bunch of clueless kids, and he's not getting the ball, and that's fine. He's just not a good fit. He got like 16 goals last year in Allegri's system that had absolutely no offensive plan either. So yeah, I
Kind of
think he
wild.
needs to. Yeah, I
That's
think
a
that.
very impressive goal tally
Yeah,
in that type of system.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, him and Chiesa put some balls in the net last year.
Right.
They were doing just fine. But yeah, no, he's not the right fit. I think they should sell him while he's still got some value before they have to pay him the big. He doesn't want to renegotiate his salary. He's the highest paid player in the league, and
Yeah.
that's got to change. He's not playing like the highest paid player in the league.
No,
He should
no,
be on an
he
eight
shouldn't get
million
that
dollar
salary.
salary. Yeah, but the problem is I think that what's his face? Coop and Douglas Luiz are on like $10 million salaries. So I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
you're not going to
they're
pay
definitely
Vlahovic
there.
10. I mean, sorry, Luis and Cooper aren't really earning their paychecks either. So I mean, Vlahovic at least put in some time with us. But yeah, I mean, the problem is when you start thinking about, well, who else would you rather have? It's like, oh, you want to have Xerxes. I mean, well, that guy's got a goal scoring problem.
Yeah, he's gonna help like kind of coordinate the play a lot better. He's gonna come
Yeah,
back. He's gonna control. His ball control is awesome.
yeah.
His passing is great. He's very very creative. He's a great link up guy, but he's not gonna bury nonstop.
No,
So
no. I
he's not
mean,
going to solve those issues at all. And if you have him, you're going to want your wingers to be incredibly prolific, like finishers, and they don't have that. I know Yildiz can do it, but I mean that's a lot of pressure to put on on a child. To be like, oh, you got to be like the main like winger slash goal scorer now. Like, okay, that's not
oh,
what you should be
people.
doing to a kid.
Yeah, I know people be getting him shit because he hasn't scored in a couple games or hasn't
Yeah, yeah,
played that.
they should sell
It's
him, and he'll go
it's
to a huge
ridiculous.
team and become awesome
Dude,
to watch.
Cambiasso goes down in the first half, and they have to bring on their next gen guy, Rui. Okay, young kid, played a couple games this year. That's it. But we're so thin. He's got to play. So Rui comes out to fill in for Cambiaso, and he had to delete his social media because he was getting so many people are like blasting him. Like, what the fuck's wrong with these people?
What?
Yeah, he's a 21-year-old kid who probably shouldn't even be there. And these fat slobs are sitting there pounding chips and like, you know, they have time to personally search this guy's
You're not
account and
Ruhi. I'll
yeah,
say he was getting lot of stuff, lot of flack
yeah,
for
there, yeah,
he didn't play well.
yeah, dude. He played, he played just fine for a 21-year-old kid that's played 3 Serie A games and had to come into a game where they're getting just pounded. He
Yeah, I
was
mean,
he good?
and really,
No.
it's not maybe his fault. Like who
Neither of
signs
the goals were
this
his
guy?
fault.
Who like has him as your backup on Juventus, right? I
This is
mean, shouldn't
Giuntoli.
Juventus be having like promising players or experienced players as a backup rather than random unknowns? I mean, this is a problem. Like this is actually
Yeah,
the
this
least
is
deep Juventus I've seen in a long time.
yeah, this is it's a terrible starting lineup. We have no depth, and it's
Honestly, I think
poorly.
Thiago Motta's
They
doing a
don't put together.
fantastic job. If
Me
I look
too.
at this team
Yeah.
now, I think he's doing a great job with how trash this team looks.
Dude, look at the lineup. Just I have the
It's
lineup up
awful.
right now in front of my face.
Yeah, I'm
It's
looking
just
right now.
this is a horrible lineup.
This is not a Juve team, man. I mean, like,
No,
all right, like
these are
Vlahovic is
bad
good.
players.
Leia
I mean,
is okay. Coop Miners could be good, but he's still unknown because he just had one good season. Now he's coming across Juve. Sao is nobody knew he was going to be good, but he is.
no, he's
But
getting
Joey
yeah.
Locatelli, I mean, they're solid players, but they're not like top level Juve style guys. Like they could maybe Faggioli could get there, but
I mean, what I'll say about
Cambiaso I
Cons,
think is top notch. I think
yeah,
Cambiaso
Cambiasso, yeah, but he was here. He didn't bring him in.
is.
He was here. He
Kalulu,
was
Gatti are
yeah.
not starting caliber center backs on what
No,
should be a dynasty Juve. Gatti's good enough and should be a backup, but he has to
yeah,
start. Danilo,
Gatti's a
nope,
backup.
not at all.
I got
Perrin is good enough. Yeah,
well,
there's
yeah,
like three
Perrin's
people on
awesome.
that line.
But he was here. So like Cambiasso and Perrin have been here, and Conceição, he
That's
was
not
the
a
one
great player.
guy that was brought in by Giuntoli. That's been good. But dude, there's a million good wingers. Look at Ndoye.
All
Same,
right, hold on. I
more
gotta do one
effective.
thing.
Yeah.
Let me go through the bench. ridiculous. All right,
Terrible.
Yildiz, that's awesome. Taram, I think that's good signing. Savona's been good. Now listen to the rest.
Well,
Ruhi,
first of all, Yildiz
mm,
and Savona were here. Taram was
right, and they're
our
also
cheapest
kids.
signing. Yeah, yeah,
So is Taram. He's young. There's
yeah.
nobody who actually has
Well,
like
these are
any
all our
skull, any
kids.
skin in the game.
Yeah, yeah. This is how many
You have
injuries we have.
Ruhi, Mbangula, Adzic, Pinsolio, Di Gregorio, Owusu, Puno, Panuco, and Rizzo.
You haven't seen
I don't even
Diego
know half those
Puno?
people.
Those are all
Who
our
are these
next.
people?
Those are our next gen
Right.
kids, man. That's how many injuries we
What's
have.
going on?
No, so like okay, and so you can say, oh, well, that means that's how many injuries we got. Okay, yeah, Bremer's out. That's a big one. Yep, Bremer would be more than helpful. You don't need. He would
Well,
not
who
have.
else? Who else is injured from the starting lineup besides Bremer?
Nico Gonzalez,
Oh yeah, yeah.
yeah, and Douglas
But I
Luiz.
mean, I still think that Quincy is probably better than him.
Agreed.
So
He bought two
I
players for
don't
the
think you're
same
losing much
position.
there. You're
He
losing
spent
depth there, but you're not losing a starter.
he spent 70 million euros on a right winger, on the right winger
What?
position. Two guys that play the same spot. And then
Wow.
yeah, Douglas Luiz has been just a massive
McKenny's
bust, dude.
injured, right?
Yep. Yeah, I mean McKenny's not gonna.
Gillick,
Yeah, McKenny's not changing the
Douglas
game.
Luiz, like these are not game changers.
No, we don't have that many
Arthur,
starters that are
Milik.
out.
Milik would help. So
Yeah.
Milik and Bremer. That's
I
about it.
mean, yeah, but I mean Vlahovic
No,
is the
man,
starter.
it's
It's
not an
just
injury
Bremer.
problem.
No, it's
It's
not.
a team building problem.
Exactly, exactly. And that's what this is what the excuses come
They
in.
actually brought in June Tully. Jesus.
He's a jackass. He's got rid of so many players, and we've downgraded every one of those positions,
Gosh.
and we're spending money doing it.
They got rid of what? Nicolussi Caviglia. They got rid of Rovella. They got rid of Hoyson. They got rid of
Pellegrini,
Pellegrini or
Rabiot,
Pellegrini
Sule, yeah,
Savio.
Sule Heisen. Yeah, man. Rugani,
Geez,
who's having
that's
a great
so
year.
bad.
Yeah, he's a moron.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's dude, it's been really
Well, what I think one
frustrating,
of these
and
days we'll kind of delve
yeah,
into the
yeah, we had to.
genius quote unquote of
Yeah,
June Delay.
yeah,
Let's round out with
yeah.
the
Well,
last
no,
game here.
I want to say one thing.
Go
Thiago
for it.
Motta got red carded in that game.
What do you get red credit for?
Oh,
I saw
yeah.
the red
So
card. I don't know what you got red
okay,
credit for.
so
I didn't
he
see
is
what he got.
the ref was very bad in this game, and Bologna, and I know it's like it's 2024, it's college 20, and these guys fall down over everything. Bologna was on the ground faking; they were diving all over the place.
Oh, okay. So he got pissed and said something.
And yes, and he hates that shit. I mean, it's amusing when these guys hate it because he did it themselves. Our team does it too. It's just the way that, Bangula had a atrocious dive at the end of the game. It's but everyone was losing their shit on Juventus. All the players were whining and bitching and screaming. It was complete loss of composure for something that happens in the sport every single match. This is how these grown men behave. And for some reason, it was really getting to them. I think they were frustrated because they came out flat and they're getting pounded, and they were embarrassing themselves at home. And so they were finding their little straw man. And Moto just lost his shit one too
He just
many
said something to
times.
the ref about it. Yeah.
Yep, and they red carded him and sent him off. So
Gotcha.
I will say I think Moda is doing a good job. I don't know if he was. I would have definitely brought in Conte all day. It would have been a guarantee we'd have a much better team. We'd have been much better
Yeah,
off.
yeah, for sure. But he would not be dealing with June Tully's stuff. He'd be like, no, I want
Yeah,
my guys. I don't want your
correct. And
trash.
that's exactly why
So
they didn't
that's
want
why they
Conte.
didn't get Conte. Yeah, that's why they
The
didn't get him.
problem with this team is Giuntoli. Giuntoli is the problem. Moda is doing a very good job for this
Which means
bullshit lineup
management,
he's got.
because
Yeah,
management brings
it's
him in.
Elkin. Yeah, it's Elkin. This is Elkin's team. So Moda's doing a good job with what he's got. But this, I mean, where does the creativity come from here, Mike? Where does the
You
creativity
just
come from?
can't. No, you got to make you got to make a winter signing. But I mean, I think what you have to do is you just have to tighten it up. You got to go back to what he was doing and just
Hmm.
tightening it up. Yeah, you're going to tie a lot of games. You're going to sneak some wins in here and there, and that's
Yes.
the only way Juve is gonna stay solid top four because now they're starting to try to mix it up a little more. Now they got some injuries and they're getting some flack in the media, and you're only seeing them play worse.
Yeah. Exactly. I hope that Moda does not
You
read the
got to lock it down,
newspaper.
man.
Yeah.
They got to go back to what they were doing and locking down, and not even letting in a goal. They just
Yeah.
would like never get scored on. They got to go back to that.
Yeah. Unfortunately, though, when Locatelli plays bad, this is what happens.
Yeah, I mean, especially because you don't have Bremer either, so like
Yeah.
your defense is never going to be great. Like
Well,
Gatti will Gatti's solid, but he's not amazing, and Glulu's he's going to give you mistakes every.
we've had plenty of clean sheets without Bremer. He was injured pretty early in the season, but you know it's all Locatelli covering for Kalulu and for Gatti. Gatti does dumb shit. At least Gatti does at least one or two stupid plays a game, but for the most part, he's much more positionally sound. His mistakes come like perfectly a perfect example on that Castro back heel. It's like you don't need to be aggressive there, man. You're the only
Yeah.
guy that can stop this. just, just take a second look. Where am I right now?
Yeah, if
But
I make a mistake, what's gonna happen? It's
yeah,
like, all right, I can't mess this up. Okay,
yeah.
so then
But
don't
he was at least
just chill.
there. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, he was in the right spot. He wasn't like way out of position somewhere, right?
Yeah.
Which is where Clulo was.
Right spot, wrong play. Yeah.
No.
All right, I'll be done with that. But I actually don't think we deserved to draw. I think Bologna played better, but Italiano's a choker. As soon as when they got that Coop Miners goal, the crowd was really good. By the way, the crowd was I think definitely helped. I actually really do feel like it
You had a
helped me
feeling
get
it was
back in
gonna
it.
tie it up.
Yeah, and with a young team, now they're feeling the vibes, man. They're like, oh, cool, we could do this. Sudden, like little burst of confidence, and yeah, you can just see the Italiano start to choke. You could just feel it. It was going to happen, and I'm glad it was the young guys that did it. I'm glad it was Vlahovic that played a good game, and yeah, I think Bologna probably played well enough to win that game, but yeah, they choked, but yeah, I just want to end it with that.
Sure.
But my favorite
Monza
game of the weekend.
Udinese. Let's just blow this
Oh yeah,
through this
yeah,
one. 2-1 Udinese. Kind of a bummer. I like Monza, but they're
yeah.
they're very much at risk of going down. Not much to say there.
They had plenty of chances, man. They just couldn't bury it.
Yes, team. Look at the if you look at the stats, 27 shots to 10 for Monza,
Hmm.
possession 67 to 33, and this has been happening a lot for Monza. They look like they're
Yep,
always doing well, but they never win.
yep.
It's like that's a problem mentality wise, and I guess with personnel too. They don't have to have any striker who can actually like bury the ball. Like Juric is not that guy. So
No, but Danny Moda's a good player. I actually think he's good.
I think he's okay.
I just don't. Yeah, they're just. Man,
I mean he never gets a lot of goals, does he? I mean, what's his highest
I
goal
would
tally? Like
like
10
nah.
maybe?
Yeah, that's. I mean, I don't know. I don't think that Nesta is doing a very good job. I think they could do better with
No,
someone else than other than Nesta.
they're playing well, but they're not winning games.
You
Although
know,
it's
I
it's it's a
like
relatively
Nesta.
decent team,
I like Pirlo. I like De Rossi. I like Gattuso.
but they're not
But
good
they're not
coaches.
good coaches, man. A lot of those guys just aren't, man. It's just the way it is. And I
Yep,
don't think. I
it's like
think.
they were all much better players than
Yeah.
Palladino, but Palladino's a much better coach. So there you
Yeah.
go.
Exactly. Exactly. It's just.
Doesn't always translate, that's for sure.
Yeah. All right. Napoli Lazio. You started out because I. This was a.
I mean, I liked it. It was actually a very interesting game. It was in the rain. It was which I liked. It was very
Yeah.
feisty
Yeah. I love that
the whole
shit.
way
Yeah.
through. I thought it was anybody's game, but I did see Napoli was a little bit too open.
Yeah.
They're usually like more lockdown. I didn't actually think I was watching a Conte style team, which was
They
a little bit
won.
strange.
They won the possession battle, 57% to 43%. They
Yeah,
had
I just didn't look like I
518
was watching
passes.
a Conte team.
90% pass accuracy for Napoli, 83% for Lazio. It's 12 shots to 7. Only one of those 12 shots on target. That to me. So they totally took charge of the game. They were in control of it from the most part, right? And how many bad crosses did you count, man? I mean, I saw 12 shots on goal I see on the stat sheet, or 12 shots, one
Right.
on target. But I mean, corner kicks were a joke. Crosses, they couldn't put the ball on one of their strikers' heads to save their life. It was they did a great job of winning possession back, controlling. I thought Anguissa had a really good game.
Yeah, he
Uh,
he looked better than he has looked.
yeah, I would say he's been their weakest midfielder all season. He's been patchy.
Yeah,
Like when he plays well, he's
yeah,
he's he's
he is.
solid. Yeah, but I mean, late, that was looking like a 0-0 draw all the way. And if anyone was going to win, I was going to say it was not Napoli had the upper hand for sure. And excellent play by Noslin to pick out what's his name, Isaacson, and man did
Isaacson had a very
Oliveira.
good game the whole way through.
Yeah,
He looked dangerous the whole time. He was
hmm
definitely their biggest threat.
he was working Oliveira all game, dude. And Oliveira,
Yes.
it's almost like the same play happened twice in a row. Oliveira got him the first time, and the second time he's like, "Nah, it's not happening again, buddy."
Yeah, and what do you think he's gonna do? Isaacson is a very one-footed player. Like it's
Yeah,
pretty obvious when he gets the ball, he's gonna try to cut in. If he burns you to the actual like to the baseline, the byline, okay, fine. Like he's gonna cross it, and then you got to hope your team covers the rest of it. But if you get burned cutting inside, you risk getting a goal scored, and that's exactly what happened. That's terrible defending by two people. That's actually I think Buongiorno is solid, but he should have been there because there's zero other threat. And when there's zero other threat, you help your team out, and he didn't help them out.
oh yeah,
Also, it wasn't even
he
that
should
good
be.
of a shot, and Merritt didn't come anywhere close.
Oh, I
It wasn't in the corner. It
nope.
didn't hit side netting. It didn't hit top corner, top 90. It was a good shot, of course, but it was definitely
Yeah,
savable. And Merritt, I mean, if you think about it, where else is that guy going to shoot? Of course, he could pull it back short and pull back near post, but it's very rare to see that shot. You almost always see the guy cut in and they do a curler to the far post. That's
yeah,
like almost every time. I mean, it's maybe 80% of the time people cut in. That's where they shoot. So you got to adjust for that, and Merritt didn't do it. So that's the biggest mistake is on Oliveira. The next biggest would probably be on Bongiorno. The third is on Merritt. So that's
yeah.
three mistakes, but Oliveira is the biggest, of course.
I totally agree, 100%. And my whole thing is, I think before any of that happened, I was concerned and a little disappointed that Conti went for it. I prefer when he just parks the bus and hits him on counterattacks. That's when Napoli's the most lethal. That's when they have uh, they, they have more space that way. I think Lazio without Rovella could not possess the ball at all in the offensive zone, and Baroni, smart manager, doing an incredible job this year. He's like, you know what? Fine then, we're gonna do this, and they locked it down beautifully. I mean, it was a lot. They were helped out by a lot of ineptitude from the wingers. I mean, I thought Kvaratskhelia played a terrible game. I mean, he was just putting the ball in the 17th row on multiple occasions. I'm just like, what's he doing? Um,
Yeah,
he
he
had
wasn't good besides like a decent free kick.
you know what? He was not good last year. He hasn't been good this year. Is he a 1 year is he a 1 year wonder? I don't know.
I
But
don't think he is because he started to turn it on like midway last year. So like his whole second half of the season was quite good. The first half of the season he was like this. He was like he'd have a good game and he'd have like three bad games.
yeah,
So yeah, he was not good for half the season last year too.
and in all fairness, Conti teams always take off in February. Like they just start playing a lot better in February, so he could be on the same trajectory with this. But at this point in the year, he's still trying to figure things out. I'm glad that I'm glad he did this in a way because all I hear from Napoli fans is them whining about the way Conti plays and about him playing. They really want them to play Kvaratskhelia and Neres at the same time, and it's really hard to explain why that's a bad thing and why you're in first place right now. But he did it, and yeah, it didn't look much better. I mean, Politano does a lot of good work in defense. I don't think he's a great player, but you also have to have tactical responsibilities. It is a team game, so I hope Conte goes back to parking the bus from here on out because that's what was winning. But I'm glad they all got to see what happens. And honestly, if they want something more exciting, they could bring in somebody else that plays exciting football, and they can finish in anywhere from third to fifth place every year, and but they can lecture everybody about how beautiful they play. Um, it's tough to go out there and win this way, but you got a guy that's been proven and knows how to do it. He's taken over a shitty team that finished 10th place with some guys who were very out of form, very dysfunctional, wanted to
Yep,
leave.
yeah, and without like their primo striker, I mean they brought in a
Yeah,
great replacement, but I
yeah,
mean he's not as good as Osimhen because he's not as versatile.
yeah, and like
Lukaku plays well one way, that's
yeah,
it.
yeah. Osimhen was an ass. He wanted out. Fine, be gone. Lukaku's done a good job. And even last game, you know he he didn't
He's
do
always
much. They
solid, but
said.
he does have heavy patches of form every season. Like he'll fall off form for a game,
I mean,
and that's kind of how he is.
he had a lot of input in why they were able to possess the ball. for so long
Yeah, yeah,
in
no,
the
his hold-up
opponent's
play is
zone.
always good.
Yeah,
I guess that's
and
what's good about him is he's always good at hold-up play no matter
yeah,
what.
he's always present. He's a big presence. But like, it just put one ball in his head, man. Just get it to him one damn time. Like they couldn't hit anything. I think every corner went out
No.
of bounds. They're hitting him long and curling him out of the back line. It's like, what are you guys doing? It was very wasteful and very very shocking. So I just think they were off their game. But man, I don't want to take credit away from Lazio, who without their best player probably this season took it to the first place team.
Yeah, which probably
They
explains why they had so much less possession, right? Because
yeah.
with Ravella out, that whole like Regista, the ball control stuff was definitely lacking. But that makes sense. But they played the way that they had to play without him to at least try to get a result. And hey, it went their way. They got the opportunity and they made the best of it. Like that's all you can ask for from the team.
That's how those are games that good teams win, and that's how they win them. It's going against them. They made a tactical shift and they won it dirty, and I love it. I think
Same thing. Atalanta and Lazio had a very similar performance, right? It's like they didn't play amazing, right? They were solid, but when the opportunity did come when it had to come, they actually buried it and won the game. And those big 3 points over a rival are gonna really speak volumes going into the season. That's why they're in very good positions now.
and this is why it's really really disappointing to see teams like Juventus and Milan down, because teams like Atalanta and Lazio are having the confidence to win these kinds of games. When in the past you'd
But
be like,
it just shows you where those
yeah,
dynasties are right now because
yeah,
you
down the
shouldn't be like
toilet.
used to go into these games thinking, all right, like yes, a team like Lazio or Fiorentina or Atalanta could surprise a Juve or a Milan, but you were expected to win. You were the actual dynasty. You had stars across the board. You had a solid team. You knew what you were doing. Now it's anybody's game. It's a totally open game. You don't know what's going to happen. That's how far they've fallen to where you don't expect them to win anymore. You're just like, well, I don't know who's going to win this game. Like I walked into that game, Milan Atalanta, thinking it was going to be a 2-2 draw. I was off. They ended up pulling it off, but pretty dang close.
Yeah,
Like that's how I evaluate this. Whereas like years in the past, like during the glory days, never in a million years would I
no,
be like, oh
yeah.
yeah, 2-2 draw against Atalanta. Never.
Yeah, no, it'd have been a shocker if, yeah, exactly. Well, Del Piero after the Juventus game, he was on the Paramount Plus thing, and he basically said what we're saying right now. He's like, Juventus used to strike fear in their opponents. Opponents used to be afraid to play Juventus. He goes, they're not afraid to play us. He said a bunch. It's a really good interview. Should listen to. I'm sure you could read between the lines of what he's saying too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm sure
No,
he's not very
he's
happy
good,
with
man.
what's going on and blah blah blah. But he's a class act. He's not going to say anything. But it's like there's no character players on these teams, and when you stuff them chock full of foreign mercenaries that you overpay for because you want to bring sex appeal to your fan base and sell jerseys, you lose that core of your team that ekes out these gritty, dirty games. And like look who came through for Juventus with Savona makes a steal and the pass to Vlahovic, and it's Mbangula. These are
It's the
youth
kid who came
products.
from their next gen. Yeah,
Yeah, Cambiaso's our
grew
best
up in
player.
the system.
Yeah, Locatelli, I'm not his hugest fan. He's been our best midfielder, and because he loves Juventus, the games mean stuff to him. So he can't find his ass with both hands, but he's out there stopping everything because that's what he wants because he wants to win so bad. God bless him, he did his best, but he's just not good enough yesterday. This past weekend. I mean, I've seen none of this grit and fire from any of these guys we brought in. Save
No, you can see it
Constant
from Inter, right? You can see it from Inter.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
that's the difference. They're the only big team who's got it. Even Napoli, I
Yes,
would say they're not quite there. Like they play hard because they're a Conte team, but
right.
they don't have that extra factor that Inter has when Inter's on, in my opinion.
No, I mean this is I think where you're going to see the problem with Napoli here is and this is Conte's biggest challenge this season is like you do not have a team that has a ton of that grit. When they won the Scudetto 2 years ago, that was a down year for Serie A. They caught lightning in a bottle. It was a one-off. You saw what happened the next year. I mean, it imploded, and it wasn't just because they lost one guy. I mean, all the players wanted out there,
Hmm.
bitching and whining and complaining. It's not a super high character team. You don't have a lot of guys there that you can really count on. And like in
Yeah.
that Lazio game, it's like who's stepping up? Who's who's taking the bull by the horns here? Who's our guy we're getting the ball to? Certainly wasn't Kvara. So they don't have that guy. I mean, Labodka's their best player week in and week out. Absolutely, guys. outstanding.
Yeah, he's finally back now, right?
But
So
he's yeah, I think he's a guy that I could
he
even
just came
start
back from
getting
injury, no?
football.
So
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
like you got to give him a few games to actually get back to his old
He
self.
was still one of
He
their
needs some
best
time.
players out there.
He's still good.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
he's
like
still good.
I saw him. He was good. He wasn't like remarkable in my opinion, but he was good.
He's a really good player, man. He's just he's not the
Oh no, Leboka's awesome because I
yeah
just think you got to give him a few games to really get back to himself. So
yeah yeah. I'm curious. So let's do the next week's games. I think that summarizes everything
before
because
that, I think we do a
yeah
little recap. So
yeah
Atalanta, and
yeah
so there's a couple games in hand here. There's Milan Bologna, which has yet to be played. They're both tied at
mhm,
22. So with a win there, any one of them will move to 25 points. That
yep
puts them within striking distance of like six. But still, even with that, they're 2 games out of fourth place, and they're going to be 3 games out of first place. So there's, in my opinion, Scudetto stuff absolutely done. Now top four is still a possibility for both Milan and Bologna. Um, Next is going to be the other game in hand. People are Inter and Fiorentina because obviously that stopped when Bove went down. A win for either of those teams would put them tied joint for first place
yeah.
with Atalanta. So and a tie would put them tied for second with Napoli. So right now it's Atalanta 34, Napoli 32, Inter Fiorentina 31 with game in hand,
And Lazio
Lazio 31 also tied but no game in hand, and
no
then
true
it's a little bit of a gap. You have Juve, another gap Milan Bologna. Drop zone Verona, Monza, Venezia, very close. A win for any of those teams would pull them out of the drop zone. Just one win. So
yeah. Well,
very
it goes
close.
all
So
the way up
it's
to
a super interesting season this year.
it echoes. I mean, really, even Roma at 11th is only 4 points out of the
That's
drop zone.
wild. Roma
Yeah
has 16
yeah
points out of 15
yeah
games. That is insane.
yeah.
They have
Honestly,
1 point a game roughly.
yes, it's
Oh my
wild, dude.
gosh.
Yeah, the entire bottom half of the table is at risk, and there's a very thin middle class here of Udinese and Empoli. Hell yeah,
Yeah,
baby.
you're looking at like those teams are like safe. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Those teams that are kind of just in the middle.
Wow.
Yeah, dude. It's like I, it's everyone's to lose, and I think that's what I
Crazy
always
year.
say. It's
What an
everyone's to
interesting year.
lose. You know, and I think uh, is I'm a big Conte fan. I like Napoli as well. Boy, this might just be Gasperini's year, dude.
I would be totally happy with that. Honestly,
Yeah,
if Atalanta won it, I'd be totally happy with that. If Fiorentina won it, I'd be even happier.
yeah,
If Fiorentina won it, this would just be great for Serie A. It'd be awesome for just like Calcio in general. So that'd be my dark horse. Who I'm pulling forward. I would love it if they won the Scudetto.
yeah,
It's gonna be very hard. It probably won't happen. But if there was one who could win it, who's on fire right now, that would be my favorite. But we'll see.
yeah. Yeah, it's
That's a very dark horse.
it's
But
been
still, that'll
it's
be
been
great.
fun. It's been fun so far. All right, what do we got going on next week here?
All right, I'll go
Which
over
of these
these ones.
games?
So match day 16, you have Empoli, Torino, meh. Cagliari, Atalanta. Atalanta should wipe them out. Napoli, Udinese might be a little scrappy, but Napoli should take that one. Juventus, Venezia, they have to win this game.
I mean, that's
That's
what we said against Lecce
that's
too.
bottom of the table. Venezia are basically bottom of the table.
Yeah,
Lecce, Monza, not very interesting.
yeah.
Bologna, Fiorentina is going to be a good game.
Yes,
Those
very
are
good
two
game.
teams who are on good form.
Italiano against his old squad.
That's great. That's definitely a
Yeah.
game right there. But yeah, a couple more coming up. Parma Verona, meh. Roma Como, nah.
Let's see if
Milan
Roma can
Genoa
keep it
could be
going.
interesting, but the
Milan's got to
game
bounce back.
yeah,
Game of the week.
game of the week though is Lazio Inter.
Yeah, lots of game of the week back to back weeks. They're on form. Inter's going to be coming off a Champions League midweek match with who are they playing? They play a decent. They have a decent matchup. Bayern. Leipzig. Red Bull Leipzig.
It's like
So
okay,
they got some injuries on. I think Leipzig still doesn't have Simmons. It's not Simmons. So, anyways, Inter's playing a midweek game. Um, against
yeah, the Champions League
yeah.
Serie A you've got yeah they've got Leverkusen,
Inter's got Leverkusen.
and
Okay.
they got
Yeah, one of those
Leverkusen
German
tomorrow,
teams.
and Atalanta has Real Madrid. So those are the big games there. The rest of Serie A, Bologna plays Benfica on Wednesday. Milan plays, I don't even know
Ooh,
how to say that
Atalanta
name.
Real Madrid,
I'm not
baby. That's
gonna
fun. That's a good
make a
game,
mistake
man.
there.
Do you think
Like
Atalanta is
Cremona
going to
Zvezda.
beat? Do you think Atalanta is going to beat Real Madrid?
Maybe Madrid is pretty rough this year. It
Yeah,
wouldn't surprise me. I mean, like it's like
and their defense
Milan beat them.
sucks.
It's not a it's really not a great team this year. I mean, they're kind of falling
Madrid's
apart.
Madrid's defense
But
sucks. Could be a 5-4
Madrid's
game.
weird though. They could just get smoked, and as long as they get through to like to the knockout phases, they could still win the Champions League because that's how
Yes.
Madrid does it. They can look terrible all year long, and then they play 10 amazing games and they win it.
Yeah.
It's just
Well,
weird. That's just Madrid.
and then yeah, Inter. So what's the score? Atalanta Madrid. Make your prediction.
Atletico Madrid.
Hmm.
I'm just gonna go a 2-2 draw.
I'm going 3-2 Atalanta, baby. All right,
I like it.
Inter and Leverkusen. Can Xabi Alonso stunt the penile growth of Simone
Yes.
Inzaghi's?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he definitely can. For
really.
sure. Oh yeah, he definitely can. Inter doesn't play as well in the Champions League sometimes, but I think they're gonna pull it off. I
They've
think it's
still
gonna be
not
a
allowed a
2-1
goal.
Inter.
They have
I think
not.
it's gonna
That would
be a
be
2-1.
so Leverkusen's going to get the first goal in the Champions League against Inter Milan.
Yes,
Okay, I'm going 1-0 Inter on that.
I like it.
All right, who else do we got? Juve Man City. Oh God, 0-0. Juve Man
0-0.
City is going to be 0-0.
Wait, who? Juve and
Juventus.
Man City?
Yeah, two teams that are just struggling. One team with an overwhelming amount of class, and one team with the. You just looked at the roster we saw.
You think it's gonna be a 0-0? I know
Yeah,
Man City's struggling, but I don't know about 0-0.
I think that Thiago
I think there's
Motta
goals in
is.
that game.
You think so? I think Thiago Motta is
I
going to
think there's
lock it
goals in
down.
that game. If they got what? If they had 2-2 this past week, come on.
Yeah. Are you telling me you don't have faith in Gatti and Kalulu and Locatelli to shut
I
down Man
don't I
City?
don't think I don't think it's gonna be a 0-0. It would be impressive, but I
No,
don't think it's gonna be
I
0-0.
that would be a victory for Juventus if
I
it's
think they're gonna
zero
lose
zero.
2-1.
Yeah. Oh, we're gonna get a goal.
Yeah, you're gonna get a
Okay.
goal.
Okay.
I
Cool.
mean,
I
if
like it.
Vlahovic plays, you have a chance. If he plays, you have a
Yeah.
chance. If he
I
doesn't,
agree.
no, you will not.
Zero
You
zero.
won't have.
I'm sticking by. You're going
Yeah.
2-1. You're probably gonna be right, but I'm sticking by 0-0. Bologna Benfica.
Bologna, Benfica, man, Bologna has really been bad in Champions League,
They have.
honestly, and they're probably going to continue being bad. Benfica is a scrappy team. They're probably
Yeah.
going to beat them 3-2, something like that. Could be a tie.
Yeah.
I don't have faith in Bologna this year, especially in Champions League. Maybe
Same.
2-2, but probably 3-2 Benfica.
Yeah, they've done. In Milan. Oh wow! Look at this opponent. What's a,
Oh, you know what?
are there any
That's just Red Star
vowels?
Belgrade. No, that's just Red
Oh,
Star
okay.
Belgrade. I
Wow.
think it's like Severnats Zvezda or something like that. I don't know how to say it,
That's
but probably
beautiful.
close
Wow.
enough. But that is Red
Rolls
Star
right off the
Belgrade.
tongue. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah.
Okay,
What do you think's gonna happen there?
Milan should win. I think it's
I
gonna be 3-1.
yes, I was gonna say 3-1. 3-1. All right.
Yeah, and they're playing. I mean, the big thing is that Leao is playing well, and that's everything. If Leao is
Yes.
playing well, Reinders is playing well. Those guys can chip in with some good link of play. Hopefully, a
Yes.
goal or two between them, and they should clean it up. So
I agree. Cool, baby. I think that wraps it up, and then
that's
we
it.
can do one after the next week's games, and
Yeah, you got some Champions League games coming up. Got some games. So yeah,
yeah,
we'll be back in a few days for sure.
yeah, we're definitely doing a Juve rant fest cast. You're gonna have to sit there and guide me through that one.
We'll do
You're gonna
that
have to,
stuff maybe during like transfer
yeah,
mercato because that's
Mercato.
coming up.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
maybe during mercato we'll kind of delve into a couple teams that we
yeah.
care about and say what we think they should do and kind of go from there.
Yeah, or just some predictions because even what Napoli could do is pretty interesting because that's a team that definitely needs reinforcements. They
Yeah,
like Lazio, Fiorentina, Atalanta, they can sit tight, but Inter can sit tight, but Napoli needs some reinforcements. They really do, and so obviously Juve and Milan do too. These are unfinished products somehow. All right, that's it.
that
Thanks for
is it.
tuning in.
Thanks everybody for watching. We'll be back in a little bit and Forza Calcio. Ciao.